Rise and shine, Vincennes. It's Dustin Fuller with you on this Tuesday morning. And we are joined now by one of the candidates for Knox County Sheriff, Dan Short, joining us this morning. Good morning, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Good morning, Dustin, and good morning, Knox County.
And I guess first and foremost, for those that are aware, Dan running for sheriff in Knox County. That election, the primary is in May of 2026. He's running for a position that's currently held by the current sheriff, which is Doug Vantlin. He is term limited, so there will be a new sheriff in town come 2027. But so far, Dan is one of two candidates that have put their hat out there to run for the position. And Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you, Dustin. My name is Dan Short. I was born and raised here in Knox County. I graduated from Lincoln High School back in 1995. After I graduated, I left for Marine boot camp shortly after. That would turn into a 21 and a half year military career between the U.S. Marine Corps and the Army National Guard. The Army National Guard time ran concurrent with 10 years that I worked with Stockton Police Department out in California. That's where I went to the academy. And it's a large city where the calls for service were, um, there were a lot of calls for service. It was a very busy department, and the amount of knowledge you gain in 10 years is incredible. While I was working out there, I ended up having my daughter Madeline, who is currently 15. Maddie's my best little buddy. Um, in 2016, decided that California wasn't the place I wanted to raise her. So we made the decision to move back home to Knox County, summer of 16, where we've been since. And I was very fortunate to continue my law enforcement career when I went to work for the sheriff's office in September of 2016 as a jail officer. That career progressed later in 2017, early 2017. I was still a jail officer, but one of our deputies was injured, so I went to cover North Knox Intermediate. He was our school resource officer at the time. Then in January of 2018, I was moved into a full merit position and reassigned to South Knox Middle High School, where I currently serve as the SRO. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
What are some of the things that I'm going to ask your experience in Stockton, California, and also in the military compared to what some of the things that you deal with here in Knox County?
Okay, well, of course, there's not always a direct correlation between military service and law enforcement. However, there are some parallels, such as attention to detail, having the opportunity to attend several leadership academies while I was in the service and being assigned to numerous leadership positions, anywhere from being a team leader of four Marines all the way up to being a military police platoon sergeant. The platoons are normally 50 military police officers, but there were times it would exceed 70. So those are some of the good things that carry over in the discipline, of course, from the military service. And then my law enforcement service with Stockton Police Department. Um, of course, it's directly related to working here. Luckily, Knox County is a much more friendly and a lot less crime rate than what I saw out in Stockton, which is a wonderful thing. One of the reasons I wanted to raise my daughter here. But experiences that I had out there is I work as a regular patrol officer. Of course, we refer to them as road deputies here. I was assigned to the SWAT team for a period of time out there, both as a logistics officer, and a SWAT operator. Um, Leadership positions in the police role. I was a field training officer for 3 years while I was out at Stockton, which gave me the opportunity to work with a whole lot of our young and up and coming officers and kind of coach and train them in the ways of law enforcement. And one of the other great assignments that I had was I spent some time as what's referred to as a community police officer. It's slightly different than your normal patrol work in the way that we operated. We spent a lot of time doing more community events. I would say the one most familiar to folks around here is you hear about uh, different agencies holding events such as Coffee with the Cops. It's a great opportunity for us to meet with the citizens, keeping an open door, opening those lines of communication, share a cup of coffee, discuss what's going on in the community, what's bothering them, how we can address those issues, and work together as a team to improve our community overall.
What are some of the issues that you see in this area?
Well, of course, we have some crime rate. I don't think it's horrible. Seems like a lot of the folks that are involved in that crime statistic are also fighting some addiction issues, as well as there's folks that are dealing with mental health issues that aren't always getting addressed as well as they could be. I think if law enforcement agencies such as the sheriff's office partnered up and worked hand in hand with some of our local agencies and continue programs like LAM and the drug court, family health court, these are all things that are fantastic. There's other resources out there that I'm starting to hear a lot about that, counties in our near area are starting to work with, like peer rise recovery, which is one that I think we need to keep an eye on and an open mind to. Um, and then the other thing too is helping these families get the skill sets they need to break the generational crime cycle that we see. Grandpa was doing it, dad's doing it, kids doing it. And I think if we give them more of a positive role model and those life skills that they need, we might be able to work together and slow down that revolving door at the jail that we've been doing for so long. It's the same people in and out. We need to find a way to short circuit that to where they don't come back and they're able to reintegrate into society and start being a productive member. That's a win for everybody.
What are some of the things that, if you were elected sheriff, you would continue from the current administration?
Well, of course, all of the services that we have would stay in place, such as our road deputies, the court services. Um, Near and dear to my heart, of course, is the school resource officer program. I'd like to expand it and try and add a little bit to it to make it more than what it is now. I think that'd be a fantastic thing. Of course, having LAM program and different religious organizations to come in and work with inmates has been a great start to try and get some of these inmates to change their lifestyle and ultimately stop coming back to jail, which would be a good thing. Um, but I would like to expand on it as far as like our community policing and get more out into the community and make ourselves more available for folks to talk to. I think that would go a long ways.
What are some of the things that, say, you were elected that would maybe go away?
Well, it's a little early to tell for that. You really have to get in and kind of see what's working and what's not from the administrative level. Um, I don't know of anything off the top of my head that I would cut per se. But obviously, anytime a new person takes over in an administration, I would say that everything's open to review. One of the pet peeve things that I hear is because this is the way we've always done it. That's a phrase I don't particularly like. If it's not working, let's look at finding something that does work and change it. If we take a look at it and it's working well and it seems to be the best course of action, then we should maintain it.
Have a few more moments left. Dan Short, our guest this segment on Rise and Shine Vincennes. Dan, how do people get in touch with your campaign? They want to help you with yard, like put out yard signs or volunteer, anything to do with your campaign.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you for asking that. Right now, we have the Facebook page up and running. It's Dan Short for Sheriff. It's easy to find on Facebook. A lot of people have been liking it already. You can contact me through the messenger there. We do have an email address set up as well, which is danshort4, the number 4, sheriff at outlook.com. And I'm most happy to meet with anybody I can. With that said, obviously I have to respond and do campaign activities off duty. So if you do send me a message, it'll be in the evening hours before I'm able to respond to you.
Dan Short, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on your show.